Champions League action returning this week, and there is a huge game that's going to be taking place on Tuesday at the Bernabeu. You got Real Madrid going against AC Milan, and these two teams are the literal definition of European heritage. Madrid have won 15 Champions Leagues, and AC Milan have won the second most with 7. So this is a game between two elite clubs. And I know that AC Milan have fallen off a little bit from the glory days of what they used to be. But nonetheless, the history that that club has is immense. They are arguably the second biggest club in terms of just history, in terms of prestige and honor. And what's so crazy about this game is that we played AC Milan in preseason, the first preseason game that we had. And I remember back in August, I did a watch along for that. And they absolutely dominated us in that game. We were playing some of our backups and the kids, and they were out there with a full strength squad. And they beat us. And that game left a sour taste in my mouth because I'm like, damn, did they not know this was preseason? They must have thought this was a Champions League match. And I remember during that watch along, I called for us to hopefully get them in the Champions League. And here we are. And the storylines leading into this match is insane. We're going to talk about our form. We're going to talk about AC Milan's form. Look at them predicted 11s, right? We'll get into the injury news and all these different things. But I need you guys to get in the comment section and let me know any thoughts that you have concerning this match. Because when this new Champions League format got announced, right? It's no longer groups, right? It's not like you're in Group A, Group B. No. It's one big league table. And I'll show that to you guys right now. I don't know about y'all, but I do like this. I think it's different. It's interesting to see the Champions League read out as if it is a regular league. I think this does make things different. And I think different is good. Now, as I was saying, when we drew AC Milan after they showed us what pot we're going to be in, this was a game that I had circled on my calendar because, again, after what they did to us in preseason, I want revenge. And looking at the Champions League standings, Real Madrid are sitting there in, what is that, 12th. You know how crazy that is. We've won 2 games, but we suffered an embarrassing loss against Lille. Unacceptable performance. That was the worst game of the season. And it looked like Dortmund were about to do a madness to us, up 2-0. And then we turned that around in that second half with an excellent performance from the boys. Now, when I'm looking for AC Milan, I got to scroll down, right? And currently, they are outside of qualifications for the next round, right? They're sitting in 25th, a spot removed. They have not had a good Champions League campaign so far. They've played 3 games and they've lost 2. They've only won 1 of them. And I'm not looking for them to get a draw or a win versus us. I want to kick AC Milan while they are down. So, look, you got both of these European giants coming into this game. I'd say not on the best form, right? But let's talk about Real Madrid's form, right? Because we all know the last 8 to 9 days for Real Madrid has been a madness. We got slapped up against Barcelona in El Clásico at the Bernabeu, got absolutely destroyed. And then when we all thought, you know what, at least we can look forward to Vinicius winning the Ballon d'Or, they snubbed him and gave it to Rodrygo. And we had a game that was supposed to take place on Saturday against Valencia, but due to natural disaster, a flood came through and that game had to be postponed. And now, the game after the El Clásico whipping that we got, the Ballon d'Or snub, so happens to be AC Milan. And you see this report right here. It says, the atmosphere in the training sessions is one of revenge Real Madrid are looking at AC Milan with anger in their eyes. And the thing that's so crazy is that AC Milan did nothing to us, but they have to hold smoke. I'm expecting the boys to put in the best performance that we've had all season. I'm looking for complete domination in this match. They must respond to what we saw happen in El Clásico. I'm going to need Vinicius, Mbappe, all the boys that are playing, I'm going to need them to play as if this is the Champions League final right here. Because all eyes are on us. We are now the villains of world football after we decided to not show up to the Ballon d'Or ceremony when they decided to rob Vinicius of an award that he fully deserved. So everybody's going to want to see how we respond. Everybody's going to want to see how Vinicius plays. All the pressure is going to be on us. And I think this can be Real Madrid's villain arc starting on Tuesday. And AC Milan, I'm telling you something right now, bro. It's a bad day to be turning up to the Bernabeu this Tuesday. I'm backing my boys. I think this will be the game where our season starts to turn around. It must. It literally must. There's no way that after what Barcelona did to us, can we go out there and get anything less than 3 points in a dominating fashion. You can't go out there and struggle against AC Milan. You got to put belt to ass because somebody has to pay. I know that the board are not happy with what's going on. We've been pretty shocking this season. It's not been the best. So let's look at how Madrid have been doing. We're sitting second in La Liga at the moment. 9 points behind Barcelona. Now, keep in mind, we have a game in hand. I just told you, the matchup against Valencia that was supposed to happen this weekend got postponed. So we'll make that up eventually. But Barcelona are absolutely flying at the moment. They're probably the best team in Europe with how they're playing, with how they're just going out there and dominating teams. And even though we've only lost one game in La Liga this season, our form's not been good. We've been struggling since the first game of the season against Mallorca. And the thing is, we had a pretty easy run of games up until the Madrid derby, and we struggled. I don't know how we were going into that El Clásico matchup being unbeaten. Because to be honest, there's about 4 other games that we could have lost. We struggled against Las Palmas. They should have beat us. Real Sociedad, Villarreal, and Celta Vigo. We honestly should have lost those games. The issue that I have is how bad we start off in the first half of games. We let teams create all these big chances, all these big opportunities. And we've just been very lucky that they cannot finish the chances that we give them. We have to let Thibaut Courtois make big save after big save in the first half. And how most games go is teams miss their big chances. And then once the second half kicks off, we get one chance, we put it away, and then we kick on from there. But I've been trying to tell people, it's not sustainable. It's not. And against Barcelona, we found out why it was not sustainable. So look at our run of games, right? Obviously, the Valencia game got postponed. We don't know when that will be played because our schedule is pretty busy at the moment. But look, 4-0 loss to Barca. 5-2 win against Dortmund. We were losing that going into halftime 2-0. We had arguably the best second half I've seen us play in a very long time to overcome that. But that's not sustainable. Celta Vigo missed a bunch of big chances. We ended up scumbagging a 2-1 win. Against Villarreal, 2-0. We had to rely on Fede Valverde and Vinicius scoring 2 screamers from outside the box to win that game. Villarreal missed big chance after big chance. We didn't create that much. We played against Lille, struggled, couldn't create anything. The worst performance that we've had all season. And that's saying something because we've been shit for a majority of it. There's only been 3 games so far this season that I'd say we look good. Espanyol, Alaves, Atletico Madrid. We had a 3-game run where I thought things were turning around. And then what happens? We play Lille, and it comes crashing right back down. And the reason why the players are filled with anger and AC Milan have to hold smoke is because of what happened in our last game. At the Bernabeu, we allowed Barcelona to turn up and beat the dog shit out of us. They absolutely embarrassed us at our home. And what's so crazy about this game was, in the first half, aside from Mbappe's dumbass being offsides every single time we had a chance, defensively, I think we did a good job against Barcelona in that first half. Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, Rafinha, they did nothing. Fermin Lopez, they were all locked up. And Barcelona disrespected us because they played that high line. And I'm thinking, yo, let Barca keep playing that high line, and we're going to be able to get something from this game. The only thing that we got was a offsides record broken by Mbappe for most offsides in a single game. I couldn't believe it. The second half, I was feeling confident, and they tore us apart. Lewandowski scored a brace in the span of 2 minutes. Lamine Yamal got the 3rd goal. And then Rafinha finished us off with the 4th. And Carlo Ancelotti really pissed me off that game. This guy is underneath a lot of pressure because I've not been impressed with his tactics this season. I've not been impressed with his substitutions. So not only are the players underneath a lot of pressure, but so is our manager. This is the last game that we kicked off and played over a week ago. These players must respond. And I'm telling you this right now. I am looking forward to seeing a huge performance from Real Madrid. I expect nothing less than 90 minutes of us dominating. You don't lose 4-0 to Barcelona and there's no response. And Valencia were supposed to be the team that felt how mad we were. But since that game got postponed, it's got to be AC Milan. But look, let's look at how AC Milan are doing this season. They're not really on the best run of form. In Serie A, they're sitting in 7th. They've scored 17 goals, conceded 11. Defensively, they've not been the best. Attacking-wise, they're not really cooking on that end either. Out of the 10 games that they played, they've only won 5. They drew 2. They lost 3. And when I'm looking at their recent games, just like how it seems like we're struggling with our form, I feel like they're struggling as well. Only a 1-0 win against Monza in their last game. They lost 2-0 to Napoli, who are top of the table. 1-0 win against Udinese. 2-1 loss against Fiorentina. Leverkusen beat them 1-0 in the Champions League. Like, they're not out there putting in good performances. It's not like we're going to be going against a team that are flying at the moment. And the thing is, AC Milan do have a good squad. I think that they have a talented crop of players. But they've just not been able to stamp themselves so far this season. I know that they got rid of their manager after last season. What was his name? Pioli, I think? Let me know if I'm wrong. But This is a must-win game for AC Milan as well. I showed you guys the Champions League table. I'll bring it up again. They're sitting 25th. 2 losses out of 3 games. Do you think they want to have 3 losses in 4 games? No, they don't. I fully expect them to be trying their hardest, obviously, right? Like, no team wants to get knocked out of the Champions League without at least advancing to the knockout round. And the thing is, because of the new Champions League format, you no longer drop down into the Europa League. No. Once you don't qualify for the next round, you're just out of Europe, period, for the season. So it's a must-win game for them. Now, I do want to look at any injuries that AC Milan may have, right? So the current crop of players that may be in doubt for this game at the Bernabeu, Luka Jovic, this absolute fraud. Don't forget, chat, this guy is one of our biggest flops. We signed him from Frankfurt after he went on that crazy goal-scoring run. They won the Europa League. We signed him. He came in and did fuck all. One of the worst signings that I've seen us make since I became a fan of this club. Luka Jovic scammed us. You got Gabbia, who might miss this game. Ismail Benacer, he's a really good player, right? So this will be a big miss for AC Milan, because if he's fit, you figure that he starts more times than not. And then Florenzi, is out until next year. They're saying that he had a crucial ligament injury. Yeah, so serious injury that he had. But yeah, here are the 4 players that AC Milan may be missing for this matchup. And then here is what their predicted 11 is, right? So they usually go out there and run one of 2 formations, a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. Now, given their last game against Monza, they were out there in a 4-3-3. So I figured that they'll do something similar, right? Regardless of 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, it's all the same shit. Let's just be honest, right? It's just different ways that they start off. But when the game kicks off, it's basically the same structure. Now, they got Mike Maignan, right? One of the best goalkeepers in the world, very highly rated. Emerson Royale, the right back, they signed him from Tottenham. Center back pairing, Malik Diaw. And then you also have Fikayo Tomori, the Englishman. Then at left back, you got Theo Hernandez. I rate him a lot. In that midfield, Yusuf Fofana, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Reinders. And then the front 3, right? Christian Pulisic on that right wing. You got Alvaro Morata, a guy that we are very familiar with starting up front. And then Rafael Leao on the left. Now, I know Leao has been getting benched lately, but I cannot see Leao being on the bench on Tuesday. He's arguably their best player. I don't rate him that highly, right? I think he's just a spicy Marcus Rashford, a Portuguese Marcus Rashford. I feel like he's so hyped. And then when I actually watch him, I'm usually unimpressed. But nonetheless, this is how I think that they'll line up. Christian Pulisic has been on some good form this season as well, right? We've seen him score quite a few times for AC Milan. Alvaro Morata, they signed him from Atleti like right after the Euros ended. It was like Spain won the Euros. Morata signed for AC Milan literally the next day. Point is, this is a good team. This is a team that we should not be taking lightly, right? This is not a team that we can just assume will get steamrolled. Because again, they have something to play for as well. But I just don't care. I really don't care. There's no excuse for us to not go out there and get a result. But looking more at AC Milan's squad, right? Just wanted to show you guys, we showed you who's injured. I showed you what their predicted starting 11 is. But if you want to just go through the entire squad, right? Like guys who may not even start that game, right? Got Tammy Abraham on the bench, possibly. Yunus Musa, another American player, right? You got Noah Okafor. You have Samuel Chukwueze. Yo, Chukwueze killed us in the preseason. look, here's your squad, guys. I'm just scrolling. If you guys do care to know who else is there. But we kind of already talked about all the main players. Now, let's go back to Real Madrid, right? Because we got to talk about some injury news. So, we all know that Thibaut Courtois got injured against Dortmund. He had a muscle injury, so he missed El Clásico. And there is a chance that he's able to come back for this match. If not, then Lunin will start, which is not a problem, right? Lunin, last season, he proved that he is one of the best goalkeepers in Europe. He stepped up after Thibaut Courtois got injured, right? We brought in Kepa. Carlo Ancelotti wanted Kepa to start. But the way that Lunin played last season, he forced his way into that starting 11. But yeah, look, not having Thibaut Courtois there, that is a huge miss for us. Because he is the best goalkeeper in the world. He has been arguably our best player this season, making save after save after save. So, hopefully he's able to line up in this game. But if not, I don't even think it's that big of a deal. We should be able to win even without a goalkeeper like Courtois there. Also, Rodrygo, he suffered a hamstring injury, I believe against Dortmund as well, because he also missed El Clásico. Now, there were some reports leading up into this game that said he may play against AC Milan, right? Like the game that we were supposed to go against Valencia, he wasn't going to make it for that game. But there were reports that maybe he's fit enough for Milan. They're saying that Rodrygo wants to return versus Milan, but it'll be difficult and unlikely. So he'll probably come back for the game that we have over the weekend against Osasuna. Now, I don't mind Rodrygo resting, right? Hamstring is a serious injury. It's a long season ahead. I don't think we should be rushing him back. Rodrygo is my guy, my favorite player at the club at the moment. And not having him out there, yeah, it is a miss for us because our squad is now weaker. But I think that we have enough to beat AC Milan, even if Rodrygo does have to miss this game. And on some positive injury news, after the ass whipping that Barcelona gave us, there were reports that Rodrygo was injured. They didn't really come out and say what exactly the injury was, but a lot of people believe that it might have been something bothering him with his knee. Now, luckily, last week, they said he's not injured. It's just an overload. And the reason why Rodrygo is overloaded is because we have no defensive help. The only two center backs at the club is Rodrygo and Militao. Because our board in the summer decided to not bring in any kind of investment in the back line. So, yeah, Rodrygo, Militao, that's it. They have to play every game, damn near. And we have to hope that they don't get injured. Because we're Rodrygo or a Militao injury away from having to put Tchouaméni back in the back line or having to play Jesus Vallejo. I don't get how the club decided to not make any defensive signings. We tried to get Lenny Yoro. We didn't want to match Manchester United's bid, and then we did nothing about it after we didn't sign him. We didn't go get anybody else. So, yeah, our board had an L window in the defensive department. So, Rodrygo is just a little bit overworked. And unfortunately, Florentino Perez and the board have put him in that situation. But fortunately, right, because of the extra rest that we've had with no game over the weekend, right, they're saying that Rodrygo has returned to training and will be ready to go against AC Milan. So that's a huge boost for the squad. Now, here are some other injuries, right, just to kind of wrap it up. We obviously talked about Courtois. We talked about Rodrygo, right? Dani Carvajal suffered a serious injury against Villarreal. He's out for the entire season. We will not be seeing Dani Carvajal until next season. And David Alaba, he's still working his way back from the major injury that he suffered last season. I have no idea when David Alaba's coming back. It seems like his recovery is going really slow. But just like how AC Milan have 4 injuries, we also have 4 players who are more than likely not going to be here for this game, right? And here it is showing you guys right here, okay? Now, I do want to get into what I think Carlo Ancelotti needs to do for this game. So here is my predicted 11, right? And I'm going to take injuries into account. I'm going to assume that Rodrygo and Courtois won't be here for this match because they shouldn't need to play in this game. We should be able to beat them without those two. So injuries considered, here's what I think Carlo needs to do. So we go Lunin in goal, right? I think a lot of us rate Lunin. No problem with that. At right back, this does make me nervous because you guys know, man, Lucas Vazquez, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't even believe that he's actually a right back. Lucas Vazquez is a right midfielder / right winger that has to fill in that right back because the club have just neglected that position and there's no Danny Carvajal, right? Then obviously Militao at right center back. And then Rodrygo, all the reports saying that he's fit, so obviously he will be out there at left center back. Ferland Mendy, I think, has to start as well. And now, don't mind how this looks right now because I'm going to move some pieces around and show you guys what I'm thinking. So, I think you go Modric, right? Just bear with me, chat. Bear with me. I'm going to move some things around. Point is, midfield 4 of Modric, Jude, Tchouaméni, and Valverde. And then Mbappe and Vinicius up top. So here's what we're going to do. Right? This is going to end up being a diamond. It's not going to be a 4-4-2 flat. I'm tired of seeing the 4-4-2 flat. I think that Carlo Ancelotti needs to go back to what we did last season, right? We need to see the diamond formation again, right? So Tchouaméni in the DM role, Jude at the tip of the diamond in that 10/false 9 role with Modric left mid, Valverde right. This is how I think Carlo will line up. Now, if you want to put Camavinga at left mid instead of Modric, I also don't mind that either. So, you know what? Matter of fact, let's actually do that right now. Because now that I'm thinking about it, Luka Modric, do I really want him starting games, right? AC Milan, they're a team that has young legs. They're very fast. They're very direct. You know, maybe this game won't suit a Luka Modric. So let's do Camavinga. But more than likely, he'll probably start Luka Modric. But this is how I would line up. And this is how I want to see our structure off the ball. Now, on the ball, right, just like last season, Vinny would go out wide. Rodrygo, but now Mbappe is here, so Mbappe would go out wide. And then Jude will have free roam to crash the box. And maybe he might score a damn goal. Carlo Ancelotti has misused Jude Bellingham this season. Against Barcelona, Jude was deeper. Average field positioning, he was deeper than Lucas Vazquez. My guy Jude was at right back, basically. Are you fucking kidding me? All the goals that he scored last season. So that's unacceptable. We're struggling. Our form has been shit. Go back to what we were doing last season. I know that there's no Toni Kroos in that midfield, but you got to try it out again. When we're on the ball, Vinny and Mbappe spread wide. Jude now is able to crash the box. Carlo, it's simple. This is how we must line up against AC Milan. This is how we may be able to turn around our season. Just go back to what was working last season. None of this 4-4-2 flat. None of that dumb shit. Go back to the diamond. Let me know what you guys think about this starting 11 right here. Because I feel like with the players that are available, to get the best out of Jude, Vinny, Mbappe, right? We know Mbappe's been struggling. Mbappe's been shit. My guy's been a free shot. He was a free signing. We didn't have to pay PSG anything for him. And I want a refund. Okay? So, maybe putting him out wide on the ball might ignite something in him. But I think we go out there Tuesday. I think we're going to see us put in a very good performance. And I'm expecting Real Madrid to beat AC Milan 4-1. 4-1. I'd like to keep a clean sheet, but they have a lot of attacking talent. I could definitely see them scoring a goal. And I want revenge for what happened in that preseason game, okay? But, yo, get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are thinking for this match. Let me know what you guys thought about the things that I talked about. Did you agree with my starting 11? Anything that I had to say, I want to know what you guys have to say, all right? Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We will be here doing a watch along for this game on Tuesday. So make sure that you guys turn on those post notifications so you don't miss when I go live for these watch alongs. But this is a must-win game. And not just scrapping a 3 points. No, I need to see a dominant 3 points. The team must respond after how Barcelona absolutely embarrassed us at the Bernabeu. You think that we built that brand new, or we renovated the Bernabeu to look like a freaking spaceship to go out there and get our ass whipped in it? Are you crazy? Are you fucking crazy? Fix up. Fix up. Because we've been shit in the Champions League so far. Against Stuttgart, they were cooking us. Lille beat us. Dortmund were slapping us up in the first half. I'm not trying to see that shit against AC Milan. The boys need to wake up, guys. Get in the comment section, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Holla Madrid!